Hello folks, welcome back. This is the third part of the tutorial missions series in which we cover tutorial missions 5 through 7. So upgrading your ship's combat abilities is highly recommended. Fit your recently acquired weapons to your current ship. So let's activate this. All that she wants us to do is open up the fitting window and fit these things, which is pretty easy. Oh, we're not getting any advice on how to do it, but that's fine, I'll just do it. So as you can see, if you have new items in your item hanger, you'll get a red dot. So I'm going to click the item hanger and you can see that my new items are my 125mm Gatling ×2 and my carbonized lead S ×1000. I'm going to right click this and just see the details on this because I'm not really familiar with it. So this is a range based ammo, so this increases our range by 60%, which is probably going to be the highest range increase that we're going to get, and it has an increased tracking speed, which is really good. I don't want to go into an in-depth discussion of tracking speed, but basically tracking speed helps your guns track the target as the target is moving. Everything's mobile, so your guns have to be able to move and adjust to follow the target, and that is your tracking. So big guns tend to have low tracking speeds and find it very difficult to hit small targets and fast moving targets, and smaller guns will tend to have fast tracking speeds. They won't do as much damage, they won't be able to reach out as far, but they can track very quickly and they're good for tracking when you are brawling in close like we have been doing. So if you're going to fight as close as we've been doing, you need to make sure that your tracking is good. Attributes. So the key things to look at here is this is a small size charge, so it'll only fit in small size weapons. It's used with projectile weapons, which is what we're using. The tracking speed multiplier is 5%, so it's 1.05. Range bonus is 60%, and the damage that we're going to be doing is 4 kinetic and 1 explosive. I'll just quickly explain through this. There's 4 different damage types in EVE. Different weapons will do different damage types, and different ammunitions might do different damage types, and you can also tank against damage types as well. You can fit your tank to be resistant against specific damage types, and that is extremely useful if you know what kind of target that you are going to be going for. So when you go ratting, it's looking for NPC pirates in various different forms. You will frequently know what kind of damage they do, and so you can set your resists up to resist their damage types so that you're more resilient against them. And likewise, you can know what they are vulnerable to, so you can make sure that you're equipping your ammunition to do the type of damage that is going to work the best against them. So the damage types are electromagnetic, EM, thermal, heat damage, kinetic, so that's velocity based damage, so throwing projectiles at targets, like shooting them with a gun, and explosive, which is self-explanatory. So our particular ammunition here is doing primarily kinetic damage, but with a secondary explosive damage. So that's the main thing that I want to know. This is also a useful tab used with, so it tells you what kind of guns you can use this ammunition with. You can see I can use it with all the way up to 250mm light artillery cannons, 280mm howitzers. So with some reasonable size things here. Okay, that helps us to know those things. So Aura wants us to open up the fitting window, which is this one here. You should have this on the screen by default. If you don't, go to your Neocom menu, go to Ship, fitting, and then click and drag that into here. But I'll just click on it now. And it opens up our fitting window, which is a really useful tool. I'm not going to go into any depth explaining this right now, but it is a very useful tool to have. So you can see here's our Reaper. We've got high slots here, which are generally weapon slots. Mid slots, which you can fit different types of modules. Generally these are going to be propulsion modules, like an afterburner or a micro warp drive, or shield, or various types of tackle like weapon fires and things like that. We've got low slots, which are used for armor slots, so things like armor reppers and armor plating, and for a lot of damage boosting goes down there. And then we don't have any rig slots because this is just a putsy little Corvette. So she wants us to remove the old turrets before fitting the new ones. You can do this in a couple of different ways. You can just click and drag that out here into your inventory, or you can right click it and go unfit and remove it. Oh, okay, she's going to pop something back up and say you need new weapons. So I'm going to grab these one by one, drag them into the high slots, and the difference is these guns require ammunition, so they can do no damage at the moment. You can see that they have a slightly different range from the original civilian Gatling that we had. The ranges are slightly better than what we had, but they're about to get a lot better as we fit this ammunition. So I'm going to drag this carbonized lead small. I'll just drag it straight into the middle of this window here, and it should fill both of these up. And now you can see that our range has been increased because we have this 60% improvement in our range. Our fall off range is 6,200, and our optimal range is now 1,470. And we're now doing 5.9 damage per second. And you can actually see in here the damage that we're doing. We're doing 11 hit points of kinetic and 3 of explosive. So it's going to hit probably twice as hard as what we were, maybe even more than twice as hard as what we were with our original Gatling gun. And okay, so what does she want us to do now? She wants us to put the rest of our ammo into the cargo hold. I'm going to click and drag that into Tempest Wolf God's Reaper. And the reason for this, you can see it there, I'm actually going to select all of these. Well, what I'm going to do is I'll right click these metal scraps and I'll go stack all. That puts all of my metal scraps into one heap, and then I'm going to left click and drag that into the item hanger. So that's now in my item hanger, my metal scraps there, along with various other goodies that I've been given just for starting out. I don't have shield operation 1, so I can't actually drag that in to my ship. So the reason that I've got ammunition in my hold is because now that I'm going to be using ammunition, there will come a point in time where I will run out of ammunition, and I am going to need to reload that. And if I don't have any ammo on board my ship, I am crap out of luck, and I'm not going to be able to continue firing. So you need to make sure you've got enough ammo on board to sustain the combats that you're going to get into, and you'll get more of a feel for that as you proceed. So she now wants us to close our fitting window. Why not? So I'll close the inventory as well and click on the agency. Claim our rewards. We get rewards for just fitting, which was 10,000 ISK. We're getting rich now, 140k. So we have a battle in the ruins. Concord has received reports that the Seekers are consolidating their forces. Head to the site to eliminate the threat once and for all. Let's kill these motherfuckers. So activate. I get 100,000 ISK for this. I can press undock here, or I can press undock here. I'll just press this one. Okay, so fairly shortly this will pop up a warp to location. This is our trial by fire. And so I'll walk to location. So there's a few enemies out here. None of them are a particular threat. So here's my two guns. What I'm going to do is this little icon here will group these weapons together. I'm going to press that. So now all of my guns will fire when I press F1. And that means that our total damage is going to be 23 kinetic, 6 explosive, and our optimal range is to get inside 1400. I'm going to just adjust a couple of things when we get in here. How close are we going to be to these sentry towers? Far enough away that I don't have to worry about it. So let's click one of these. I'm going to right click my orbit and set the default orbit distance. I'm going to set it to 1250. Oh, they're attacking me. So let's start approaching one of them. I'll approach the closest one. I'm going to approach it on an angle, but I just wanted my ship to turn around. I was being a bit lazy. I'm going to double click just to the left of it. Just adjust my trajectory slightly. I didn't reset those up. Ugh, annoying. Okay, so once we're in close enough, I'm going to press F1. I'm going to shoot at it. I'm going to start hitting an orbit pretty shortly. I'm going to start hitting it now. You can see, even though it looks impressive, the explosion only hit me for like 5 damage or something. I'm going to move Aura out of the way because she is a pain in the neck. So let's select this guy and let's just double click and space out here so that we start approaching him, and double click again, and we're starting to get close enough that I will enter an orbit. I'm going to start orbiting now. I'm going to start shooting now because we have a 6,000 meter fall off range. So he's hitting me. They're firing missiles. Missiles hit automatically, but they have a long cycle time. So he's dead, and now we've got a seeker eluder. I think these guys are quite fast. I'm going to just directly approach him. I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is over there. Let's look, not look at, but show info on him. He does all thermal damage. I'm going to target him now. Hopefully we're in range to target him. Your targeting only works at certain ranges. Right, we're approaching fairly quick. I'm going to try to orbit him soon. In fact, I'm going to put my afterburner on, and hopefully that is going to give me enough speed to keep up with this guy. I'm going to start to try and orbit him now, and I'm going to fire my guns as soon as I get inside 6,000. I'm looking here, by the way, to see. You can look here, so I'm inside 6,000. So you can see I'm doing damage. He's hitting me as well, but not for much. There's nothing really to be worried about here. He's dead. They're super soft. In fact, he's so dead. He's so nothing. I'm just going to go and loot his wreck and just sort of see what he's got. Oh, I'm actually in the looting window. So obviously the looting window shows bad guys. Oh god. So there's metal scraps in there. I'm going to loot all. Aura getting in the way of everything. So let's select this guy. I'm going to approach him. Where's he? We're turning. So he's over this way somewhere. Oh, he's over here. Okay, I've got my afterburner on. Notice, and that's allowing me to do 600 odd meters per second. It just helps me zoom around a little bit faster. This guy looks like he's moving pretty quick. I'm going to wait until I get, I'll target him, and I'll wait until we get in a little bit closer. I'm going to press F1 as soon as I'm inside 6,000, there we go, and he's slowed down, so I'm going to, I'm killing them too fast to actually show you anything. So let's loot his wreck, because I should be inside looting range. Oh, it looks like I moved out of there pretty fast. Oh well. Doesn't appear to be moving towards that, so he hasn't listened to me. So there's the other guys over here. That's the closest one. I'm going to approach at an angle to show you how I ought to do this. So I'm going to aim for about here. My afterburner's on, so I should burn reasonably quick. This is a slow ship, so even with an afterburner only 600 meters per second, I'm going to target these guys. I'm going to control click these guys to target them. I believe I can only target 3 guys at the moment. 16, so I'm going to aim to move into an orbit of this guy. I'm going to move a little bit closer down here. You can see it's going to align to pursue him. And hopefully I'm keeping enough angular velocity. I'm going to drop into orbit here and put my guns on. And you can see I'm hitting them pretty hard compared to the amount that they're capable of sustaining. I'm going to shoot this guy. He's inside 2,000 meters, so I'm just going to keep my trajectory where it is at the moment. And then this guy here I will orbit, and then I'm going to control click this last one so that I target him. And so we're pursuing this Seeker Nova, and I'm now inside gun range, so I'll shoot him and I will turn to orbit. As you'll see, I'll just zoom out a little bit so you can see what's happening. In fact, I'll turn on my tactical overlay and you should be able to see my orbit path popping up. Oh, okay, he's dead. Oh, they're dying too fast. I'll put my guns on this guy and I'll orbit this guy, and let's see if... So there's my orbit trajectory. That I'm going to kill him probably before I even hit that trajectory, I would say. But I am attempting to orbit here and he's dead. So I'll turn my afterburners off and I'll loot some stuff. So we're on a pursuit path. No, we're not. Oh god, it didn't recognize my first mouse click. Okay. So now we're heading back in. You can see all the wrecks here. So, oh no, it does have loot in it. You can see that it is shown with a box inside, so it has loot, which will pop up shortly. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. So we're getting metal scraps at the moment, which is pretty much not even worth looting, but I'm just showing you for the sake of completeness. We will be able to sell them. So I'll just loot the rest of these containers. All of these guys just have metal scraps. You will find that different pirates will have different items, and some pirates will drop some decent items. And when you're at higher level stuff, you can get your best loot from just looting the wrecks. You'll find some very expensive items in there. So let's loot that. And then let's close that all. I'm just going to right click and stack all of those. Close that window. So now, I'm going to I should have been clicked on that combat tab, but apparently my looting tab has got bad guys in it anyway, so I can just use that. Do not forget to collect your award for a job well done. Okay. Open the agency, claim my $100,000. So now I've got 240k, starting to get a little bit better, and then she wants us to fly to a different system. I will do this. This is going to be a slight pain in the neck because I've got a whole bunch of gifts that I was given as a part of just becoming a new player, and they included ships, and so all of my good stuff is going to be left at actually I'm not going to do it just yet. I'll close that down and let's dock back at our location. Now I'll show you a trick. This is really useful. If you go to personal assets, I do this all the time, click on that and it shows you where you are holding stuff. Mold 5 Republic Military School. This is all of the loot that I've got there, including some ships, a Rifter and a Thrasher. I'm going to right click, I'll just fold that menu back up. I'm going to right click here and I'm going to go dock. This is really useful if you want to set a location to fly to. You want to go fly home. Often systems are going to have loads of stations in them, and trying to find which station is your station can be a little bit annoying. So I tend to use personal assets. Because I keep stuff at my home stations, it always pops up on my personal assets, and then I can just set my my base, my location as my destination, or when we're in the same system as we are now, I can just go dock. But this is not going to be our home system. A mold, they start you off in a baby system. You can see it's a 1.0 security system, the highest security rating. And Aura wants to fly us out to a training system where we're going to be able to do a whole bunch of agent missions, which we are going to do, but I think I'll just leave this Corvette here because it's kind of rubbish and I probably won't use it unless... Actually, I'm just thinking, because you're new players, like I was given frigates and things, but you may not have been given them. Maybe it's best I do stick to doing this in the Corvette and then just come back and get my other stuff later. Yeah, just in case at the point in time when you're watching this video that you haven't been given a free frigate. As you can see in here, I've got a destroyer which I'm yet to train into, and I've got a frigate that I can use, and it would be my preference to just jump in this frigate and use it. But I'm just thinking, if in the future you don't have a free frigate yet, that it might not give you a good representation of what we're doing. So I'll just stay inside this rubbish Corvette. I'm going to grab everything I've got here and put it into my Reaper, and you'll see here in the cargo bay I've got 120 cubic meters of space and I've only used 13, so it's fine. But I'm just taking all of my crap and I'm going to fly that out to where we're going, because this, where we're about to go, is going to become our new sort of home base for a little while, and I'll have to come back and get these ships, which I'll have to train in destroyers first before I can fly this ship back. But I'm not going to use that destroyer to start with anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. Okay, so let's close this down. Let's open up the agency again, and let's finish this off by activating this, and she's going to probably set a destination for us. She wants us to fly out to the career agents, so select set destination in the info panel. So I'll click this, and as you can see, it plots a route for us up here, and we can see that route. Each one of these is a system that we have to fly into, and so the first system that we'll be going into is Pator, then into Eyster, and into Hadargargo. Great. So our new home system that we're going to be in is called Hadargargo. I wish it was a little bit easier to to pronounce than that. But anyway, header. That's going to be our new system. So I'll undock. She's going to fly us. Well, she's not going to fly us. I'm going to fly us out there. And this will be our new home base. And that'll be the end of this mission. The end of the starting tutorial. And that will be all good to go. So she wants us to open the overview window. I'm going to click on flight. So that you see that cuts down our options a lot. We don't have all of the crap that was appearing in here because this has got containers and stuff in it. So in here I can simply click on pay tool. You can see that is highlighted in yellow. When you have a route created, all of the stargates that you need to travel through to get to that destination will be highlighted in yellow. Makes it very easy to just click on them and then you can just go. You can either warp to within 0 or you can jump. I'll do what she's telling us to do, which is right click and select jump. And it will take us into warp us to the Stargate, which is out this way. Just so that you're aware, your align time before you enter into a warp is dependent upon two things. It's dependent upon your relative angle to the location that you are jumping to and upon your speed. So I believe you have to get within, is it 8 degrees? I think it's 8 degrees. It might be 6 degrees. It's 8 or 6 degrees of the object that you're aligning to, and then your ship has to accelerate to 75% of speed for you to enter a warp. So align times are really important in this game, and smaller ships, frigates, will have way better align times than bigger ships, allowing you to get out faster. So again, it wants us to right click and select. So I'm going to click that, but this time I'm going to just click jump up here. Does the same thing, makes no difference. Just depends on what you prefer to do. So you can see we're about to warp, and we enter warp. Just turn off my tactical overlay, don't need that on anymore. So I'm having a think about the missions that I'm going to do. I will probably do all of the career agent missions just to show you what's involved in each one. This character I'm not planning on mining with him, for example, as a career, but I'll do the mining career agent. As painful as that will be for me, I'll do the industry agent just to show you what it's like. So once again, I click here, I can go, oh, we're actually in the system, so I can just dock. So this is, oh no, oh, that did something weird there. Oh, it's changing. Okay, all right, so here we go. So let's go jump. We're going to jump to this. So we're currently in Oyster, which is a 0.9 security system, still high sec, totally nothing to worry about out here. I'd be super surprised if anybody wanted to gank a Corvette. Yeah, unless we were somehow carrying, 100 million in loot and they cargo scanned us down and decided that was worth losing a ganking ship to Concord. Just not going to happen. So our real danger in high sec is just roaming NPCs. These stargates are kind of cool. These are the Minmatar stargates, and they have a kind of orange-red glow. Each of the factions has different style of stargates, and they glow a different colours. Green for Galente, blue for Caldari, yellow for Amar. So now we're actually in the system that is going to be our home system, Hadargago, and you can see it's glowing in there, so I will right click and go dock. And it's going to fly us in, and I'm going to see if I can just move this so that it's out of the way. I'll also just readjust this window a little bit. I only had it out to show some velocities, which we don't need to see. And I'll put my D-scan window back over here.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So there's our new station in all of its glory. Exciting. So that's gonna pretty much wrap this up. So I will just finally go into the agency, and she wants us to actually sign up with someone. Many challenges await you. Leave the solar system and choose your own adventure. Follow Aura's instructions to leave the current system and begin your journey into New Eden. So she wants us to go to Agents and Missions tab and then select the Career Agents. So that's in here somewhere. Her window keeps getting in the way of these windows, which is a pain in the ass. So I'll click Agents and Missions, and these are all the different kinds of agent options that you have. So I'm going to go into Career Agents, and what am I going to start with? Our choices are business, exploration, industry, military, and advanced military. I am going to start with the military career path just because I want to get... There's a particular frigate that I really like the look of, and I want to fly around in that frigate. So I'm going to do the military career path to start with. I will do the others, and then I'll probably finish on the advanced military career path. But to begin with, let's do some shooting crap. So I'm going to do the military career path and start a conversation with this dude, Kalia Deferud. Yeah, not exactly easy names to pronounce. Yeah, Aura's waffling on and covering up our important screens with her stupid blue box. I'm really looking forward to getting rid of her, and I'm about to get rid of her. This is really the main reason for doing these starting missions, is to get rid of Aura and get her out of the fucking way so I don't have to keep having her stupid blue box blocking everything. So I will accept well, actually I'm not going to accept this mission because that will start us off on the next video. On the next video I'm going to accept this mission, and we can then start down doing this particular campaign. So I'm going to sign off here, and that's the end of that. I hope that you picked up some good valuable stuff watching this. There's a lot to learn when you're playing Eve, and so just having a bit of guidance and a lot of the little things that you won't necessarily pick up on, I think is really important. I'm trying to think of all of the things that a new player will want to know that don't often get showed in a lot of videos because they get overlooked. So I'm trying to think of those. If there is something in particular that you don't know, please do put it in the comments below, and I can try and answer your question for you. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to close this window down, and I'm going to close this window down, and I'm going to close her down, and we will start back up there at the beginning of the next session. So fly safe, and I'll see you next time.
Skill training completed.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can do so by donating Plex in-game using your Plex Vault. If you are not able to give Plex, you can donate ISK. If you do donate, please make sure to flick me an Eve mail and make your donations to Exalted. That's EXZOLTED. Thanks.